Welcome to the Three Left Turns podcast.
Two left turns.
Two left turns this week because somebody took a vacation.
He's sitting on a beach.
We're docking his pay.
Sitting on a beach, day drinking it up.
He's getting tan though. He's gonna come back and he's gonna look better than ever.
What was that face?
He tans.
That was me.
Right?
Does he? I don't. You see?
I don't either.
I had like a crazy sunburn. Oh, maybe. No. I had a crazy sunburn like
He's flashing his legs
here
to me.
down.
Everybody.
Here down.
Yeah.
And you would think that my color would change a little bit. It kind of has, maybe. Not much. I don't tan though.
I'm going through a life realization where I think I might be allergic to the sun. Like,
Really?
not fully, but I think I burn way faster than other people typically do. And so
You just means you're fair skinned.
yeah, probably. But I also, that purchase, I don't remember how many weeks ago it was, but that one where I talked about how Google filled in all my payment details. Were you here for that episode? Surely you were.
No, I don't remember
I
hearing
don't
about
know.
this.
I talked about it
I
a
don't
couple
ever-
episodes ago where Google like just auto-completed a payment for me instead of letting me enter a little coupon code, and I was all mad about it. But I bought some UV protective clothing.
Oh, I have a shirt. I have a UV shirt. It's so nice. I got it when we went to Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and I still wear it to this day. It's one of my favorite shirts because
Yeah.
they're actually like comfortable too.
It was funny because so I got 3 items, and the one, when you opened it up, it smelled like sunscreen, which I don't know if it's like part of it, like if there's like some sort of aloe like actually in the clothing or whatever, but it was pretty funny. I thought that it smelled like sunscreen, but it's been pissing me off.
I got mine from Walmart,
Ah.
and it didn't smell like sunscreen, but it worked all the same.
Yeah.
Was it just like a shirt? That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got like a shirt. I got like a cardigan, but not like a thick cardigan, just like a real
Okay.
thin one. So it's like a wrap, you know.
Okay.
And I genuinely can't even. Oh, I got a tunic,
A tunic.
dude. I got a tunic. It's pretty sick. I
You
was
gotta
looking
wear
at
it. You gotta wear it next week.
I can wear it next week. Full whatever disclosure. It was listed as a women's clothes item,
Okay.
but it's just a tunic. You know Link from Zelda, the blue one?
Yes.
It's that, basically.
I mean, you love that.
Yeah,
franchise.
for sure. But like, I got a tunic, and so it's got like kind of short like arms because that's like the style of it, and it's got like a weird little like chest cutout. But I got a tunic.
We'll see it next week.
Next week,
So,
if I remember, I'll wear it.
You have to tune in. Oh, he'll remember. Don't worry.
I'll remember. That's what he says.
He will not forget.
Speaking of not forgetting,
Wow.
I don't even know where I'm going with that.
I was gonna say.
I feel like
that's
I'm trying to get on
impressive.
topic with something, but in terms of not forgetting,
In terms of not forgetting, don't forget that this episode, since it doesn't have Sagan, is a mostly. I'll put mostly in front of that. Mostly non-video game, non-nerd, non-card game, non-movie episode of the podcast. Expect politics and general nonsense.
and good journalism. So to start with, the Switch 2 has come out. I'm joking.
It really has. I mean,
it did come out last week. That's not what I was here to talk about. I thought it'd be a funny joke. So,
did you get one?
did I get a Switch 2? No, I got discouraged from it from both you and Sagan and Abby. So everyone in my life told me, nah, it's bad. It's gonna be silly. Don't get it.
I don't
And
think
so
it's
then
actually
I
inherently
got
bad.
peer pressured into not buying it.
For some reason in my brain, I kept thinking because I was like following its release and stuff like that, and in my brain, I'm like, this is a $600 console. That's not true. I don't know where the $600. It's $500 or
It's
is it
$500 if you buy it with Mario Kart on release. Which why wouldn't you?
I mean,
Because it's kind of the only game out for it right now.
a Series. It's a Series X on release.
Yeah.
I guess so, or PS5 too.
Yeah, it's $450 without Mario Kart. But
Do you know?
who's
All
buying
right.
it
Well,
that way?
last on this topic, do you know if there's like supply shortages on it? Like, because I know people obviously were wrapping lines around businesses to get these, but we're also not in a pandemic like when the last gen of consoles released.
Mhm.
So I don't know if like they're easy to get or not.
As far as I know, from everything I saw is that a lot of stores are selling out of them, but there were people who said that they were able to go to Walmart and get it day one too.
I mean,
so.
I'm sure they'll restock faster.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm sure that it's not too bad and seems to be pretty positive from what I can tell. The response to everything coming out, I think it looks kind of garbage. I'm kind of glad I didn't
Really?
get it. Yeah.
I haven't seen any like gameplay or anything, but I can't imagine there's like I know the only thing I saw is like Switch 2 cartridges were working on the Switch 1, and I don't know if it's vice versa. I think so. I think it's vice
Switch
versa.
1 works on Switch 2 for
Yeah.
sure. But
So I guess there shouldn't be a shortage of games on it. I know that was a big problem when like the Xbox One and PS4 came out, but I mean that's a while ago at this point.
Mhm.
But I mean, new gen Switch 2 stuff, I assume there's not too much
not right now.
besides
It'll come.
Mario Kart World.
Yeah, and it looks crazy.
Open world everything.
Yeah.
We're open worlding everything.
It's true. It's the second installment of Mario RPG.
Speaking of an open world,
Heck yeah.
speaking of an open world, the U.S. is trying to not be one of those. We want to
No.
be very closed off.
Yep.
You know, if anyone who's not currently living under a rock knows what's going on in Los Angeles right about now, anti-ice protests,
Ice out ice.
ice out ice, the
Ice out of LA. I don't remember what it was.
ice out of LA. I think it's ice out of LA.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, we got a fascist movement versus anti-fascist movement. I mean, we're using rubber bullets on reporters.
and just regular citizens.
Well, yeah, but we're used to that.
Yeah.
You know,
police state being armed against its people they're sworn to protect.
This time we're really taking a page out of Israel's book, you know, firing on the press. So
Yeah, that video was pretty crazy when it came out. With there's not even a question. There's nothing else going on. No one is nearby the officers. Everyone is backed way off. The reporter is just commentating on the peaceful protest
with
that's
their
going
back
on.
to the officers,
And you just see the cop pull up and right into her legs. Crazy.
And then there's another video of a press member getting shot in the head with a rubber bullet. And I actually saw a video of this guy was like, I think he was going up some stairs or up an escalator or something, and there was like, you know, police up over the railing,
Sure.
I guess.
Yeah.
And this guy's like talking to the police. He wasn't saying like anything belligerent or anything like, you know, inflammatory or anything like that. But this cop is just like, well, now you're distracting me, so I'm just gonna pop you, and just turns and shoots the guy with a rubber bullet. And I was like, so this is what we're doing. Just your reminder that of the fantasy of seemingly a lot of Americans that they say that they want to use the Second Amendment in their guns to, you know, oppose government tyranny, when really what they actually mean is they want to shoot their fellow countrymen.
Yeah.
They want to kill people. It's really weird.
Well, and that's where, because there was the whole other issue that came out from like Friday and a Saturday, the National Guard was being deployed into the city, despite both the governor and mayor of LA, governor of California, saying, no, don't send them. We don't need them. It'll be okay. And good old DJT showed up and said, nah, we're sending them.
Yeah, we're sending
Thanks
them.
for helping. The Coast Guard has already solved the issue, and they weren't even there yet. So that was pretty awesome.
And then I think, didn't they not even show up?
They did.
No,
They
there was 700 Marines that were supposed to show up, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Because their like commanding officer was like, yeah, they're not trained for
Yeah.
public, like domestic,
Mhm.
you know, crowd control,
Yeah.
whatever. So like they're gonna get more training. So they just didn't didn't show up.
They have the police, Coast Guard, and despite everything being mostly peaceful protests, if you watch any footage from the actual protesters and the organizers that are there, aside from the tensions that show up when you have police advancing on a crowd,
Mm-hmm.
there has been zero issues. Mostly. There's not been any cities burning to the ground, but the media will make you think so.
I know. I saw a video of a dude that threw a Molotov cocktail at a cop car.
The violence that has happened has all been the thing that I was trying to do some research on specifically was talking about how they were talking about the escalation of the crowds, but the escalation was that it went from like 400 people to 1,000 people to 2,000 people, and so apparently having a mass group gather to protest is bad, which I thought after January 6th we decided was not true. I thought if there was a mass group of people showing up to demonstrate their Second Amendment, or not their Second Amendment, First Amendment right to protest, and then they want to protect their Second Amendment. But if they're showing up to use their First Amendment for protection of peaceful demonstrations and speech, nah, not allowed, which is crazy.
You're only allowed to do that at the Capitol.
Well, and that's where, yeah, at the Capitol, exactly.
In with threatening to
overturn an election
and hang elected officials.
Yeah, and
that's allowed.
Why
Probably not anymore.
Why wouldn't it be? It should be. And the bigger thing that I don't know if this is this might be a media trained thing for me, that maybe I just haven't seen it. It does seem like a lot of the immigration enforcement that's trying to be enforced is specifically in blue states and blue cities specifically. And so while there are arrests happening across the entire country, which is also kind of crazy and wrong, there does seem to be a pretty specific targeted attack from the federal administration going after blue states and blue cities who specifically are labeled as sanctuary cities. And I don't understand the messaging, once again, the cognitive dissonance that has to happen between a Republican, let's say a Republican voter versus a Republican congressman. If their whole thing is states' rights and let the states govern themselves, but we don't let the blue states govern themselves. Does that make sense?
No,
Is that something that seems like, from what I can tell, it seems a lot like anytime the whole states' rights arguments pop up, it's always because red states want to do things the way red states want to do them. You know, whether it be an abortion bill or I don't really know what else they try and fight for. Oh, child labor laws.
Yeah.
You know, like if Oklahoma really wants to lower their working age to 12, then by all means let Oklahomans lower their working age to 12. But why? Why is it that if California were to suggest raising the minimum wage, or Pennsylvania, which has the tied for some of the lowest minimum wage in the entire country, why is it that when they want to up the minimum wage or do any sort of other regulation or legislation, that's the word I was looking for earlier.
What?
When I was like, I
That's
wanted
a
to be
deep
like,
pull. That was like
I've been
half
thinking
an
about
hour
it.
ago.
I've been thinking about it for the past 30 minutes, but I was like, it'd be weird to jump back to it now.
Yeah.
So
I'll
just cut it.
I was thinking of a video, one last video I saw, where there was a Kick streamer, Kick.
Kick is great.
Yeah, Kick streamer.
The Republicans' favorite streaming platform.
Exactly. They were at a this Kick streamer is a woman. She was at an anti-ICE demonstration in Austin, Texas, and she is like shouting, "I love fascism. I love ICE. Deport them all."
Yeah.
But
That's what a normal country does.
The Republicans' favorite saying goes, "Fuck around and find out."
Don't tread on me.
And she found out because next thing you know, because she thought it was so funny, her chanting her "I love fascism, deport them all" chanting, and then you just see her get clocked in the face. The camera drops.
Ugh.
She picks the camera back up, holding her cheek.
Oh man.
And that smile is just completely gone.
Turned upside down.
But at the same time, you wouldn't hear a conservative saying the peaceful right if an ICE agent punched an anti-ICE protester across the face, or a pro-ICE counter protester punched a protester in the face,
Yeah.
they would lap that up. So, freedom of speech. She expressed her free speech, but sometimes there are consequences for the things that you say.
There do appear to be consequences. And not only are there consequences if you protest, we can go back to the Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man who was deported for no real reason other than claims of tattoos on his hands. He has successfully been brought back to the United States, which is great. He is being placed under trial in Tennessee for alleged crimes of helping import or smuggle people across the border. No real basis to that claim either. Of course, the U.S. Attorney General, who is Pam Bondi, has tasked a Tennessee office with doing this case, and the Attorney General there quit, just left. So I don't know how well that case is going to go, but I'm sure that now that they can put whoever they want there, who knows what his federal case will find. Hopefully good things for him, but he is at least back in the United States, which is much better than him being in a El Salvadorian prison.
For terrorists.
For torture.
In cartels.
Yeah. Which is also his one specific place that he was...
And apparently U.S. citizens.
Not supposed to be deported to. But we don't care about that. Laws don't really matter anymore, as the president has shown.
We just do what we want. And
Yeah.
you know Donald Trump is also trying to reduce oversight on the executive branch, as seen in his The One Big Beautiful Bill.
The big beautiful bill.
It's the biggest bill. It'll
The
be
most
the biggest
beautiful bill.
that's ever passed. Or if you ask Elon Musk,
The worst.
what did he? Oh man, what did he? I forgot the terms he used at this point. I don't know.
So pork filled.
Yeah, pork-filled, ugly bill, or I don't know. Anyways, Elon Musk, big public crash out over Donald Trump's bill. Your favorite local lib has probably said the girls are fighting about 50 times.
1,000 times.
1,000 times.
I've seen at least 3 articles, podcasts, everything is
The
labeled.
girls are fighting.
The girls are indeed fighting. The crash out has happened.
But there seems to be no... I mean, at the time of recording this, Elon Musk has publicly apologized and said that he regrets his comments about Donald Trump, which include but are not limited to saying the reason the Epstein files were not released are because Donald Trump is on them.
The return fire from Donald Trump to me is even funnier because Elon Musk, private citizen, richest man in the world, goes on the crash out, calls all these things against the president, right? I think it's even funnier that supposedly behind closed doors, Donald Trump has been talking about how Elon Musk is just a crazy drug addict, a failed businessman, despite being the richest man in the world.
And Donald Trump being a failed businessman himself.
Oh, listen.
The pot calls the kettle black.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It takes one to know one.
It does
Takes one to know one.
Wait, so if Donald Trump says Elon Musk is a failed businessman, drug-addicted loser, one can only... And Elon Musk calls Donald Trump a pedophile. We're putting two and two together over here.
It sounds like they know what they're talking about.
I think they would know what one of those looks like.
To get into a slightly lighter note, I do think one of my favorite moments of the past week was Donald Trump had a little Joe Biden moment. A Joe Brandon stumbling up the stairs. And then
I saw a really funny edit about that. It was like, like him from Tyler the Creator.
Yep.
It was an edit of Trump falling up the stairs. Like, do I look like him? And it like is flashing between him falling and Biden falling and all their different moments. It was honestly really cute. Trump and Biden have a lot more in common than they
would like
to admit.
Nah, they both know though.
They do know that.
Joe Biden.
They just get lobbied by different packs.
They have to stir up the media in one way, but they're both best friends. Behind closed doors, they're best friends.
Yeah, there was a comment that said Donald Trump spotted on the COVID Minecraft server of between him and Biden.
Oh man.
You
Well,
know,
and
maybe a
that's
rekindling is in order.
the most embarrassing part about the stair stumble is not only did the stairs claim one victim that day, did you see what happened after?
No.
Marco Rubio, in an effort to save the pride of his president, also did a fake little trip
Oh, was he like
going up
clearly
the
fake?
stairs. Oh yeah, it's like he
Oh,
almost
there's-
gets to the top, and like you can tell that total projection here, but it does look pretty damning because it almost looks like he was like, I'm gonna trip going up the stairs too, to be like, oh, clearly, you know,
There's something wrong with these stairs.
There's something wrong with these stairs. Definitely not the president having a Joe Biden moment. That'd be ridiculous. But he gets to like the second to last stair and is like, oh,
Completely
I
different
missed,
stair.
I missed my opportunity. I
Missed
missed
the
my
stair.
opportunity to trip. So he does this little like kick thing. He like kicks it and then like does a little fall, but not a full one because he's like a sane human being who's like, I'm not gonna intentionally fall on the ground. That'd be ridiculous. It was a cute
What a
little moment.
what a bro.
What a bro, right? You know, taking one for the team, really showing those stairs who's boss.
Protecting the honor of Donnie.
I don't even know. I don't
It's
even
very
know if
cute.
it is the new plane, but I'd like to blame those Saudi stairs from the,
Saudi stairs?
the
Oh, it
Saudi
was the
stairs.
Saudi plane?
I don't know. I don't know if
Oh
it was the
my
new plane,
God.
but I like to imagine that it was, and that this has actually been a subtle assassination attempt.
The funniest thing possible is if Donald Trump went and the reporter was like, you had a bit of a Biden moment there, and he was like, Saudi stairs. This is
He
why I
just-
say
he
keep
just
them in
flips.
America.
He just completely flips. That'd be incredible. Yeah. American made. This is why we love Boeing.
If you
Boeing has
see-
never done anything wrong.
Clearly, you saw my good friend Marco also fell up the stairs. Clearly, there's something wrong with these stairs. You know, his symbol, his mannerisms that he does. There's something wrong with the stairs.
Little Marco and his thirsty hands. Oh man.
I love how just Republican politics, like the lawmakers, it's all just when you look at their like histories, it's all just perfect Jane Austen-esque enemies to lovers stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one day JD Vance is calling Trump a Nazi. The next he's his vice president.
Best friends.
You can only wonder. You insert what happened in the middle there, but it's a true enemies to lovers situation, and it happens. Honestly, I can't think of a member of the Republican Party that Donald Trump hasn't, at least given a funny little nickname to, that is now just in his cabinet.
For sure. Maybe Pam Bondi. I don't know if he's had a bad thing to say about her.
Well, he just has bad things to say about all women
Anybody.
in general.
That's
so.
True. You got me there. You got me there.
that is what he said to Pam Bondi. Maybe Trump is enemies to lovers with all. No, we'll stop there.
Oh, terrible. We got to jump ship. So the one thing I did like, to switch over to the Democrats and their failings, did you see the Philly op-ed that came out of the, I can't remember which newspaper it is off the top of my head, but they wrote it's an op-ed by the editorial team from a newspaper in Philadelphia that said, we elected Fetterman to represent the Pennsylvanians' interests, and most days, we don't even know what he's doing. Straight up called him out, said it's not happening.
I don't think he knows what he's doing.
He doesn't, unfortunately.
I think at this point it honestly seems like he registered under the wrong party.
I think, yeah.
On accident.
He's not only representing the interests, I will say, I think the one thing that Fetterman has over pretty much any other politician at this phase in American politics right now
His height.
is height, a collection of hoodies, and
Gym shorts.
being one of the only true centrists. I've never seen somebody represent both sides without representing either side.
just a true fence sitter. you know, when you are perfectly center on the scale, you can actually accept lobbies from both sides
And
then just act accordingly.
to really talk about like being somebody who's looking for leadership, there is no leadership in the Democratic Party right now.
I mean,
There's no opposition. There's hardly anything. The only people who really seem to be doing anything about the protests are a lot of the candidates who are running for like local elections, even. So in New York and LA.
I just thought of something really funny. Speaking of New York,
There you go.
the mayoral race
Yeah.
is heating up.
Yeah, it is.
And did you see when they were doing like the debate and they asked all the candidates about their like dream getaway?
No, I did not see that.
There's like 9 candidates and 8 of them said that their dream getaway would be to go to Israel.
They're going for the constituents. I can't blame them, but
Do you
really?
know
Of
the
all
only
places?
person who said that they wouldn't?
Zoran.
Zoran.
Yeah.
Zoran said
Our
that his
hero.
dream getaway would be New York City. And then they tried to flip that on him by tried to flip it into him being like anti-Israel. And they're like, "So you're saying you wouldn't visit Israel? You wouldn't want to visit Israel? Why is that? Why don't you want to go to Israel?"
I don't know. Maybe I'm
And
more
he was
interested
like,
in
yeah, he was-
trying to defend my, New York City
Yeah, New York
residents.
constituents. He's like, that's what he said. He's like, he said, I didn't say anything about not wanting to go to Israel. I'm just more concerned about New York citizens because I'm running for the mayor of New York, not the mayor of
He's one of the most
Tel
inspiring
Aviv.
candidates right now because he's one of the only people who's just not putting up with that. He's not falling for the traps that I think a lot of other, let's say, rookie congressmen or just less experienced people are, because they're just not falling for traps. He's so good at going, I understand that you're trying to catch me into some weird soundbite, but I'm here to represent New York.
I'm
And-
running for mayor of New York.
Like,
I'm not
it-
running for mayor of
the
Tel
same-
Aviv. Like, I don't understand.
And at the same time, everyone's trying to be like, oh, he's kicking the bucket down the road or whatever. He's trying to avoid all the questions. But, like, he's not. He's answering the questions that actually matter and just pushing off everything that is unrelated, is an attack on things that are unrelated to his campaign, who he is, and what he's trying to represent. And I think it's very exciting to see his momentum. I don't know if he's gonna make it. I really hope he does.
Well,
but
he was catching up in second even
Mhm.
before. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he finally got that long-awaited AOC
yep.
endorsement.
which that was something I saw a lot of criticism going on from people saying, why didn't she do it sooner? But I think there's, much like the Kamala campaign of last year, I think that there's a lot to be said about timing of things, because I remember you and I specifically had a conversation about when Kamala first announced, or when she kind of had it announced for her, that she would be replacing Joe Biden in the race, that there was a huge kick in momentum. And then slowly, as she started to talk, people fell off. And I think that there's something that, I don't know if people just don't talk about it in terms of like campaign economics and like strategies, but like there is something to be said about the timing of announcements and when you make your moves. Because I think if AOC would have announced it 3 months ago, it would be dead news by now. And
Definitely would be.
there's nothing like that. So, but like by waiting until after the Fight Oligarchy tour and seeing all of the good coverage that was coming from that and seeing her popularity increase, it was better for her to wait to also be closer to the actual primary for that announcement. Because again, Americans have a very short memory. We don't even remember what Donald Trump did 90 days ago when he was only a month into his second term here. But like by trying to keep that momentum like on a rolling course, it was better. Hopefully it works out.
I haven't
But-
seen a poll, a new poll since the endorsement. I've been keeping track though,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, it's either him or Cuomo.
Unfortunate.
Cuomo.
Yeah, Cuomo.
At this point, so, which is unfortunate. But yeah, so I'm rooting for him. He's like, honestly, probably the main opposition. I mean, mayor of New York's a pretty big position as far as mayors go. Probably the biggest.
For sure. You're part of the biggest constituency in the entire United States.
Yeah, and so him being like, not the only, but at least the main focus of like opposition to establishment Dems right now, and seeing how well he's doing, especially if he can get it across the finish line, that'd be at least a good breath of fresh air at a time like this. So
that's what the two campaigns that I think I'm following the most between outside, just that are not in Pennsylvania right now, are both the New York City mayoral, and then also I believe it's the Illinois, don't know which district, Kat Abugazela. Have you seen any of her?
no.
So she is somebody who used to work for Media Matters, and she's a social media influencer who made like small, like in the sense of like what Hassan Piker used to do for the Young Turks. That's what she did for Media Matters and like a couple other news organizations. And so she now, after she was laid off in a media push, is running for a congressman position in Illinois, specifically through Chicago. And her campaign has been going pretty well for now. She's getting a lot of good media coverage.
To pick up on a point that was brought up earlier, what do you think citizens should be doing here? Because there are two kind of competing principles, the ability to protest and then the concern that these protests may be impeding federal operations. And the U.S. Attorney for Central District of California was very clear, if you are a citizen and impede any type of federal operation, you will be arrested and prosecuted.
What if that federal operation is completely crooked and illegal? What if that federal operation is deporting people to a foreign country without due process? I don't think we should be standing for that federal operation just because it's technically the law. These are our communities, these are our people, and it makes sense that people are terrified and they're angry and they're incensed because no one is safe. If we're allowed to have ICE agents come in with their faces covered in masks and their IDs covered up, and they can just go into any neighborhood, go into any home, say, oh, well, there is a criminal there, there's an illegal there. They could say that about anyone. They can do this to anyone, and they can do it to you too.
A lot of people trying to push back on her, and she has the exact same fight that she's not putting up with it. And she says, listen, I know that we're trying to talk about, bipartisanship and everything, but she's not, specifically the one quote came out was, she's not looking to try and have any sort of bipartisanship with people who do the Nazi salute. It's something that's
so controversial.
It's crazy that is something that, just by her saying that, is both getting her hit pieces, and like Elon Musk tweets about her because it's just so infuriating that.
Well, yeah, because he's the one that does Nazi salutes.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Of course, he feels personally slighted by that one.
A young woman running for Congress is so devastating and challenging to the President of the United States that she, just as a singular candidate running in a primary, is getting all this attention, which is probably working out for her in the long run, honestly. No news is bad news. No coverage is bad coverage when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I think, honestly, it's probably working out for her pretty well. But those are the two places that I'm pretty interested in. And then I have a fear, to go back to these ICE protests in LA, I do have a fear that if Gavin Newsom does any sort of actual standing up, which he hasn't done much, but if he does, it might get him some popularity, which would push him ahead again in the presidential polls, which would be pretty rough. But
Patrick Bateman.
Poor GN Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom, he's like he's like next up on the chopping block for the right wing push. Not quite to the Fetterman degree, but I mean, he was one of those wokeness lost us the election, and why are we we are focusing too much on trans people, like.
It's crazy. It's something that for
Look
a
at
lot
my
of people,
look at my opposition party leadership, man. We're so cooked.
It's tough. It's so bad. It's living in the worst timeline. Living in the worst timeline. It's so bad.
I mean, at least he is, like, for the most part, sticking up for anti-ICE protests. You know, I mean, not that he tried to not get the National Guard involved, but
It's so.
it's hard to get a read on that guy. He's just weird.
I listened to his podcast.
No.
It's so popular. It made him go down in the polls just by him releasing a podcast.
Did it really?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
I don't even know if he is still doing it, but I know that he did the first couple episodes and people immediately went, no, this is not what I'm looking for.
This is not what I want my... like, imagine if Trump had a podcast.
He would be great.
Trump-
That's what he should do. He should retire. He should resign. He should start a podcast. And he can make millions of dollars just being a podcaster.
Dude, he makes millions of dollars doing crypto scams.
It's
He
so
doesn't
true.
need-
Yeah, just
It's a lot
do
easier
it.
than
Like,
doing a
do it as
podcast.
podcaster.
It's a lot easier to rug
So
pull.
much easier.
Rug pull your.
Come on, dude.
I think it's a lot easier to rug pull MAGAs than run a successful podcast. It has to
For
be.
sure. It's got to be. You got the My Pillow guy ready for the sponsorship, even though he's bankrupt. There's probably more. You got Jeff Bezos, who will quietly support pretty much anything. You know, there's so many ways that this could go, but
Like, imagine. I feel like it. Like, if you want get the newest get rich quick scheme is to just start your right wing grift, and then make a meme coin out of it, and just
easily.
rug conservatives for a living.
Whatever happened to Hawk Tuba?
Dude, she's disappeared.
Is she gone?
She
after
gave like
the rug pull?
she gave like a she came back and like basically, and we know she's alive,
That's fine. Good for her.
but she was claiming she didn't know like
Anything about it?
anything about like how the like the rug pull, which like to be honest could like I don't believe like I do believe that Haley Welch going into this coin, her Hawk Tua coin stuff, had no idea anything to do about crypto.
Maybe.
Well, I would bet it's like the odds are favored that she just like that just somebody approached her and was like,
Hey, put your name on this and we'll
put
give
your
you
name on this.
$18 million.
We are going to get you like you can make millions. All you got to do is let us make and manage Hawk Tua coin. And she was like, and they probably gave some stupid ass overview of the blockchain and tokenomics or whatever, and she was like, cool,
Sure.
I
Yeah,
want to
man.
make millions of
She
dollars.
went, I can make $5 million by putting my name and saying this one time on my podcast. You
Yeah.
do it.
All you got to do, you want to make $1 million, all you got to do is shout out this coin on your podcast.
She's
And
got
she was
the
like,
Paul brothers behind her.
cool,
They were
that
telling her to
sounds
do the same
great.
thing.
And then, you know, the whoever approached her was just like, okay, well now we're rich.
Yeah.
It's time to rug. And she was like,
Yep.
well, what the hell? I just put my name on this. Now I'm...
Hey guys, I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Well, hello there. But
Yeah.
anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay.
Anywho, I'm gonna go to bed now.
That was so funny. I was just like starting to watch, like I just recently discovered CoffeeZilla,
Oh yeah.
like a month or two before that whole thing happened. And she just had, it's just so funny, just the most like cartoonish voice ever. They're like, he's just grilling her about this coin. Anyway, sorry Nick, I hate to interrupt you. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed.
I swear she said
Good night.
anywho.
Anywho,
Anywho.
I'm gonna
I'll
go to bed.
now.
Good night.
Logs
Not
off.
heard of for a month.
Incredible. Oh.
So, but yeah, no. Honestly, the odds are probably favored that she didn't know that a rug pull was going to happen, but the odds are also favored that after it did happen, she didn't really care because she was laughing all the way to the bank. So,
That's what to dissect a little bit from crypto bros into AI. I wanted to talk to you about this specifically because you
AI is getting bad.
it's getting bad. Which one? Yeah, there's so many different ways that we could talk about this. But I wanted to talk to
I have
you
a really
specifically.
bad one that's been happening on X.
Go ahead, hit me.
It's really bad. So recently, a trend that started to pop up, which is since I would like to announce has since been patched. Good on the XAI team for what it's worth.
Huge.
For what it's worth. But there was a trend, really disturbing trend that was going on where people, just complete disgusting incels would go under like a girl's post, like an influencer's post, and be like if she posted a photo and be like, they would prompt Grok to be like, okay, take this picture, and you'll know where I'm going with this fast. It's like, take this picture, splatter glue all over her face, blush her cheeks, have her stick her tongue out, yada yada yada, and like,
and it would do it.
and people, it would do it.
Yeah,
It would do it, and
but they patched it.
like I said, it's since been patched, but like a lot of women were having issues with this because once the first incel sees like, hey, this works, it's like a light bulb over top of their head. They're like, okay,
It was a cinder
who
that
could have
started
saw
a
this
wildfire.
coming?
Yeah.
Who could have saw that one coming?
Imagine a site that is filled with Nazis. and-
4chan, homeless 4chan users, homeless as in 4chan was taken down, so they flooded to the nearest Nazi adjacent accepting website. MAGA fanatics, AI bros, they all congregate on this site. Who would have guessed that something like this would happen?
What's the AI like on Truth Social?
I've
never heard anything about. I have never heard of anyone using Truth Social aside from Donald
Trump.
I don't know if there's another user on there.
It might just be him.
To be honest,
Really
it might just be Donald Trump
just
on Truth
so
Social.
no, there's got to be at least one more person, or maybe it's just him that grabs the screenshots of his posts
For sure.
to post everywhere else so that
Right.
people can actually see them.
Everyone taking it, putting on X, on Blue Sky, on Facebook and Instagram, whatever. Yeah.
If you're a True Social user, comment down below so we can block you.
I'm sure. Oh man. No, we need you to tell us
we
what
need
it's
some
like.
investigative journalism.
Yeah, we need you to tell us what it's like on Truth Social.
Maybe I was gonna say we should get Sagan on that, but I think he
He doesn't use social media anymore.
blow his
He's all proud about himself.
hair off.
Probably. Yeah. That's what he would do. He would take his hair and just cut it off with scissors and a blow dryer.
All right, I volunteer Brian to dive deep into truth. You don't have the time.
I'll
Man,
do
I
it.
guess
Nah,
I have
I'll
to do it.
Let's do it. Let's get into True Social. You know who's coming home at the end of the month? We could get them on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
who is coming? I'm sure she'd love to.
What I wanted to talk about with AI is a big trend that a lot of companies are doing where they're laying off entire swaths of their entire workforce because there was a report that came out that was talking about how specifically with new hires, entry-level positions, let's say, that AI does have a place in the workplace, right? There is a use for it. It's not all bad. It's not all just creating deep fakes for women. It's not all just being the worst, grossest bot-producing thing ever. There are some good use cases. And there's actually a lot of good use cases.
It doesn't just blowtorch the
doesn't-
North Pole.
It doesn't go from making Google being one of the greatest tools of humanity that has ever been created by putting all of the information at your fingertips and turning it into something that tells you to eat rocks. You know? Like the way that Google has gone in a let's say 2 years. 2 years. Nah, let's go pre-COVID. 6 years. Pre-COVID, Google, the greatest resource of all time in humanity, putting all of the information of the world on the internet and serving it to you in an algorithm that is mostly good. And now it's just borderline unusable half the time. I hate every time that the AI pops up with a attempt to try and tell me the answer to something.
The only time an AI overview is acceptable is when it confirms my biases. Other than that, it's completely useless.
We love echo chambers. That's what this whole thing is. What are we here for if not to be an echo chamber? But specifically to go back to they're talking about getting rid of a lot of entry-level positions. And I think that one of the biggest harms of AI is going to be unrealized until about 5 years down the road, unless something changes policy-wise, which I don't think it will. Whether it be
Oh,
at a
no, it
company
won't.
level.
Do you remember what was in the big, beautiful bill?
Lots of funding for AI?
No, the fact that states are not allowed back to
Yes.
states' rights.
Yep.
Back to states' rights.
Yeah.
You actually don't have rights to legislate AI for the next 10 years.
I love every time that you make a point, you go from talking into the microphone to talking past the microphone
To the
which is just
camera.
bad audio.
Is it?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's okay.
I need to back this up. I think I have it too close.
Nah, you're all right.
Because then when I do that, it'll still be acceptable. But I also like to turn my head
Yeah, it's okay.
and do this.
As long as it's generally in front of your face, you'll be all right.
Okay. Well, anyways, yeah. Well, I guess this is if the big, beautiful bill
We'll go through what you will.
goes through.
I don't think there's any question about it.
You think so? Even with
I don't think
Musk's
so.
opposition?
No. It's cleared the House. The House Republicans have already had their little, we didn't know. We didn't know what was in it. We just voted for it. And then went, oh, we didn't know that there was all this bad stuff in it. We secretly
Shocker.
support it, but like, we didn't know. So I think it's going to pass through the Senate
Yeah,
pretty
probably.
easily, and there's not going to be much opposition to it at all.
But yeah, states can't legislate AI for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
If that passes. So
Well, and so I'm going to get to my point, I swear, that
that's my bad.
with the reduction of new hires, because they're saying, oh, look, AI does have a use, and our experienced programmers and coders of 15 years have found out how to make this go from being a 1 week task to a few hours task or whatever. There's a lot of companies reporting that, or I should say news agencies that are reporting that there's going to be a big issue in the coming years, that when these people retire, move on, having new hires is important to a workforce, because someday those new hires will be your program leads, your team leaders, and by not having those new hires, you're going to create this big gap in the workforce that will not be recognized until a few years from now, when we don't have anybody to promote into these positions. People have retired, moved on, and now there's a complete absence of people at the bottom of your company that have been relatively unproductive. And that's not, when you're new at any job, you kind of suck. I don't care who you are. Your first couple weeks, months, years, depending on who and where you are, you're not a productive employee. In terms of the people who have been there for a decade, you're not a productive employee, and that's not crazy to say, but by
It's usually reflected on like expected responsibilities.
Right, exactly. And that's where going from being a unproductive team member to somebody who has been there for a few years now and has learned the ropes and is now considered to be a profitable employee, somebody who's actually doing work that matters at a efficient level, by not having those people coming into your companies now, it's going to cause a really big issue in the future. And I think that currently was something that in my most recent AI research and realization is that the worst of it is yet to come. In many ways, many ways, the worst of AI is yet to come. But also, I don't want to be an AI hater, and I feel like I've portrayed myself to be an AI hater. I think there is a use for it, but I think generative AI kind of sucks.
I think if you are using AI to generate images, you probably suck.
Yeah. I think that anytime...
No, you definitely suck.
Yeah. little little debate there.
Little.
May-
All right. You.
I'm trying to
You
think-
mostly suck.
I'm trying to think.
probably
I'm
suck.
sitting in the Sagan chair. I'm trying to think how to be the controversial, not the
I don't think.
contrarian.
I think Sagan would share my opinion. Where if you're generating images with
he
AI,
would,
you
but he's
definitely
also a
suck.
contrarian. So how do I say actually?
He's gonna take issue with that statement.
I don't
think.
care. He's not here. He's getting his butthole swapped out
I
again.
don't think. What are the odds that he watches this back?
I'm pretty good,
You think so?
for sure. Bet.
What are the odds that I?
I
that
think
watch
I think that his partner will
the
watch
episodes
it
that
and
I
then
wasn't
tell
in?
him. That you watch the episodes 0%. I don't think you watch the episodes that you weren't in or that you were in. What do you mean? There's zero doubt in my mind about that.
I've watched a couple.
Okay. The whole way through?
Yeah.
Really? Good for you. I'm proud.
No, yeah, no. I guess Sagan's biggest complaint is that he doesn't like to hear himself talk. So this is actually
Get
a
over it.
perfect episode for him.
Yeah, we should have jabbed at him way more.
Yeah. I mean, he was talking to me about how the best part of vacation is
Not having to do the podcast this week.
getting day drunk by 4 p.m. I was like, yeah, man.
You're just not doing it right.
Nice.
It's just not doing work right. what is your lunch hour for, if not to sneak off and I'm joking.
Get a
of course.
drink.
Yeah, one drink.
One.
I'm joking, of course. What else is my hydro flask for?
Man.
It's got flask in the name.
I was thinking of doing a preliminary dig at Sagan. I was gonna be like, I'm host 1B with host 1A,
1A.
and host 2 is on vacation.
Our backup.
Yeah.
Our returning guest.
Our recurring guest.
Our recurring guest Sagan. is
Video
not
game
here this
guy's on vacation.
week. Yeah,
I forgot his name.
I don't know.
But the dude that sits over here and talks about games all the time is on vacation right now.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just kidding.
I gotta cut it. Not cut it. Oh God. Okay. So I have like one big other story to talk about, and then
Okay.
we can like actually get into the video games and stuff with only a few minutes left
Okay.
of this episode. But the one other story that I don't even know how big of a story this could be, but I feel like it should be way bigger, and I haven't seen it anywhere except for one random article that came across my timeline.
Okay.
But there was a British article, or a British study, I should say, that came out that showed that Wegovy, hold on, let me get it. Wegovy, Ozempic, and all of those other they're not weight loss drugs. They're, what is that called? Appetite suppressing drugs that are basically used to reduce weight. There seems to be evidence that those may be counteracting against birth control pills. And a British study showed that there are multiple women that have seen unwanted pregnancies occur while on Wegovy or Ozempic. I think all three of them, but I want to say Wegovy was the one they said seems to have the highest rate, which could be pure coincidence, because while I don't know how big of a story this is, they did say that over the thousands of people that may or may not, well, thousands of people that are on it, they have only seen like 40 cases in which this has happened, which is not zero, so it's still a concern, but it's not something that was initially talked about, or it's probably not something that is talked about when women may be deciding to go on these medications. And so now, even if it's a 1% chance, it should still be something that they need
It's
to talk
disclosed.
about. Or not like one, disclosed is like the minimum. That like, hey, if you're on birth control, by going on these appetite suppressing drugs, you may be canceling out the effects of your birth control. But also that maybe there should be something done into the chemical makeup of the drugs. I don't like, this is big time pharmaceutical
Yeah.
research that has to go into that. But like that's crazy to have something like that. I think that's insane. Even if it is a small percentage.
I mean, well, yeah, the most insane part to me is the fact that it's just like not talked about.
at all. That's what I'm saying.
Because
like, I saw this study come out and nobody's talking about it, and I don't know if it's only because of the small sample size or the relatively small number of women this seems to have affected, but
because I know that there's a lot of things that like counteract birth
Yeah.
control, but that's probably you disclosed or on your the big map
and maybe
that they
it
get
is, but
the thing, you know, the meme that it's like it's not even a meme, it's just like fucking huge ass sheet within
the side effects.
the side effects. And well, actually I don't know if it do they talk about what would counteract it on there.
I have no idea.
I guess I'll have to ask.
Probably.
But no, and but yeah, I guess the most insane part to me is that because surely, well, I guess that's not something you would learn necessarily in a trial run of Ozempic.
Probably
It
not.
just gets discovered. But I mean, surely we look into it now.
Now, for sure. I just think that story popped up and I didn't see it
Yeah,
anywhere, and so I was
I
like, we
haven't
need
heard
to
of
talk
it.
about it.
I haven't heard about it until this is the first I'm hearing of this.
We're gonna be the ones to break the story.
We're gonna break the story. Stay tuned for the follow-up.
Stay tuned. Oh god, it was crazy. I just didn't even understand. I don't know. It was crazy. So, do you have anything else big stories to talk about?
Not big stories. If we're talking about video games, the only video game news I have is that VCT Masters Toronto is going on, and the team I was rooting for got grouped.
Oh,
I'm very sad
man.
about it.
Tough. Out on Wednesday.
Team Heretics.
Out on Thursday.
They got eliminated on Tuesday.
Tuesday. That's embarrassing.
Tuesday.
That's like top 128.
They didn't win a single map.
Woof.
It was really sad for me. Nobody else cares.
I
but
care.
I care.
I'm sorry for you. The Heretics got eliminated.
My boys. Yeah, besides that, I mean, I like I said, we said at the beginning, I've been keeping up with the Switch, kinda. Mostly that, the dude that does, like, the durability reviews
Mhm.
on new tech,
Yeah.
people were mad at him
Did he
because
tear
he
it
did
apart? He
a
said it's
durability review on... No, they were just mad that he was wasting a Switch 2.
Of course. they
It
get
passed
mad
his
about it every
durability
time.
test. It did pass his durability test.
Well, that's good then.
So-
Why are they mad?
So, I mean, I do get it. The fact that, like, it is pretty counterintuitive. Like, if I take this sharp object and scrape it along the screen, it's gonna scratch. Who would have thought?
Who'd have thought?
If I, cut the rubber on the joysticks, it's gonna leave a mark.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe they should get better quality products. Though.
I don't know.
Maybe
but
you should
it's-
be, or maybe you shouldn't be mad at the guy who is showing how cheap your product is, and actually ask that they create a higher quality product while still maintaining a lower price for consumers. Be pro-consumer. Don't be mad at the guy who's trying to be pro-consumer. Ridiculous.
I don't know.
Whether you're blue collar
It's just
or
a
white
silly little
collar,
thing.
you're still wearing a dog collar to the ruling class.
Wow.
I don't know who I stole that from, but I feel like I heard that off
That's
of
our
something.
phrase now.
Yeah,
We're coining
that should be our slogan, yeah. Whether you're blue collar, white collar, or whatever collar you wear, you're wearing a dog collar to the ruling class.
Yeah, just an apology to all the people that definitely the hordes of people that tune in for our video game conversations. Video game guy's not here.
It's all right. I got one more for you because
What's his name? Isn't here?
I've played a video game this week.
Elden Ring, Night Rain.
No,
Oh, video game guy would have loved that.
he woulda. He would have thought that was so cool. He's probably going to be upset because you know what I did play this week?
What?
And I didn't even know it was coming out. It was a complete shock to me. Splitgate 2.
Oh yeah, I've had some friends that have been playing that.
It's actually pretty bomb.
Have you played the Battle Royale?
I played one round
Don't
of
know
it.
why they're made of Battle Royale.
It's not bad. Like, I think it's pretty good. I think it plays a lot like Apex a little bit.
Okay.
Is like the closest that I think you could probably compare it to. But Splitgate 2, I've mostly just been playing the multiplayer because the challenges and stuff are easier to
Okay.
do, and I'm trying to get. They had like a week 1 rewards and stuff.
You
and
playing with anybody?
No.
Solo?
Yeah. Who do I have to play with?
I don't know. I haven't even installed it. I haven't played
I
it.
play games with you sometimes, like once a year. I play
Dude,
games with that
Garrett-
guy that's not here. But I haven't played
Video
games
game
with
guy?
him. I haven't played
What?
games with him in a long time. And he's gonna say it's my fault, which I'm not saying it's not. But I haven't played games with him in a long time. And I play
Garrett?
games with Garrett, but Garrett's not around right now. Garrett's at a wedding, so he's
Oh.
been gone. But I told him to play it with me, so he might be
Probably will
excited
when
for
he
that.
gets back.
I don't know. He'll have some reason to complain about it.
Black Ops 7 got announced.
I don't care.
What? You're the Call of Duty guy.
I don't even know where that came from.
You
I was
play
a Call
all
of
the
Duty
Call
guy.
of Duties.
I play. Okay, I have not enjoyed a Call of Duty since Black Ops 4.
You're still Call of Duty guy.
Sure, but I haven't enjoyed a Call of Duty since Black Ops 4. Nah, I like
Maybe
Black
this is the one.
Nah.
Maybe it's the one.
You know what is the one? Splitgate 2.
I know. I
I
honestly
love
I
it.
did enjoy Splitgate 1. I mean, it was just a flash in the pan. I
For
mean,
sure.
a lot of new games tend to suffer from the American attention span, or even just the consumer attention span.
Yeah.
And that was unfortunately a victim. Which, you know what? As I'm speaking of this, I saw a clip of Fall Guys today.
Huge.
And
It's still going
everybody in the
strong.
comments was like roasting this guy for playing Fall Guys, like Fall Guys in 2025 question mark. Dude, Fall Guys is fun.
It's bomb.
Fall
It's
Guys is
awesome.
awesome. Fall Guys was a good game.
Fall Guys is a good
I
game.
argue more people should play.
I want Fall Guys too. I don't really want Fall Guys.
I would
but-
enjoy Fall Guys too.
I mean,
download
sure, but
Fall Guys
they
too.
they regularly update Fall Guys 1 because they're pro-consumer. They don't make you pay for a new game or new DLCs.
You know what? I'm going home and installing Fall Guys.
That's, I mean, sure. Go ahead. I can't stop you, I guess.
I
but-
think it's fun.
It is fun. I think it's the best battle royale there is.
It is a battle royale.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It is probably the best battle royale out right now.
What else? Yeah. What other battle royale are you trying to play? Splitgate 2? No.
No.
The multiplayer is fun though. Play it.
Like I said, Splitgate was fun. I liked it was basically like, I mean, my main draw to it wasn't even its main feature, which was the portals. It was more of the like Halo-esque like shooter vibes.
It's really good. And
Like
I don't.
Halo-esque combat. That was what was really cool to me. Like if they should just take the Halo IP, and this would totally be copyrighted. They definitely can't do it, but I think it'd be really cool. And I mean, everybody's gonna say, just play Splitgate. You're probably right, but I think Halo assets in the Halo IP, like if I could shoot a portal and jump through with a needler gun while throwing a plasma grenade, I would be way more
Okay.
interested.
It doesn't need to look exactly like
It does not need to
Halo.
look like Halo.
because spoiler alerts.
there's needler guns and plasma
I don't think
grenades.
there's not a needler, but they have introduced like classes, which I don't remember being in the first game.
See, that's the part of Halo I'd stop like.
I classes in terms of like there's UNSC, there's like
Oh.
regular human type weapons, there's a Covenant type weapon, like there's different
I
styles
see what they're trying to pull.
of
here.
weapons,
I see what they're trying to
and it's
pull
cool
here.
as hell.
They're leaning into the fact that they had Halo style gameplay.
Yeah.
That's smart. Okay, maybe I'll have to give it a try.
At least
'cause
look at it.
I
At
probably
least look
should.
at it. The play one match of multiplayer.
I've had a friend that's been really trying to get us, like any of us,
Yeah.
to get on and play with him. So
It's pretty good. That would be a game that if I had time and people invited me to play, I would
You'd
play.
play.
Because that one right now has got me gripped. It's the first game that's got me to play video games in like 6 months.
I can't remember if
So-
Video Game Guy played Splitgate 1 or enjoyed it. I know he liked Portal. I know he likes Halo, so I don't see why he wouldn't.
Here, no, I got you. Let me do. Oh, I don't have a beanie. Let me do as much beanie as I can. Okay, ready? Splitgate 1, it was fine. Like it wasn't bad. It was fine.
I probably played it for like a week.
Probably played it for like a week and I thought it was good. But then I went back to playing Elden Ring or whatever.
I like how we were just like totally normal, fine duo episode, and then we're like, we didn't dig
We didn't
on
bash
Sagan.
him.
We didn't bash Sagan enough. So then the last like 15 minutes has been mostly dedicated to bashing Sagan.
If you don't show up, you get bashed. I don't care if you're on vacation.
Well, tune in next week because I may get bashed. We'll talk about that off camera.
You're leaving?
No,
He's quitting.
No, I also have a wedding. I will not be available Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
Tune in next week for the solo episode.
I mean, Sagan won't be at that wedding, so.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see.
we
Yeah,
made
we got there.
our time.
Legislation. That's the word I was looking for earlier.
What?
When I was like, I
That's
wanted
a
to be
deep
like,
pull. That was
yeah,
like
I know,
that was
I know.
like
I've been
half
thinking
an
about
hour
it.
ago.
I've been thinking about it for the past 30 minutes, but I was like, it'd be weird to jump back to it now.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I should just take that moment and put it 30 minutes ago.
yeah. You just gotta cut the soundbite, right?
It's too much.
That'd be pretty funny, I think.
Just edit it.
Where you're
Legislation.
sitting there and like doing whatever you were doing, trying to think of the word, and it just goes legislation.
Yeah, I just straight up cut legislation and then move on.
I think it'd be funny.
Thanks for watching this week, this episode of the Three Left Turns podcast. It's been a great one. I think it's been the most focused episode we've had.
I think so.
Most politics focused.
Is
We got our little bit of video games at the very beginning and end.
is video game guy the problem? Let us know.
Stop! Don't say that.
Just kidding.
I'm gonna have to censor it. He's gonna cry. He's gonna be so mad.
He'll be fine.
I might cut that. Thank you to Community Access Media for hosting us every week. They're a great resource here in Erie. We didn't do any Erie politics this week. That's my bad.